A says A. B says B. C has two different sounds. When it's with I, E, or Y, it says S, like in scent and cycle. When it's with A, O, or U, it says K, like in cat and coon. C also has two different digraphs. CH says ch, like in chick, or it can say k, like in Christmas. Another digraph is CK, which says k, like in rock. At the end of work, you hear the sound K, you hear the sound K. One short vowel. D says D. E says E. F says F. F also has some digraphs. Double F still says F, like in Cliff and Jeff. F also has PH, which says F, like in phone. F also has a trigraph, which is UGH. It says F, like in laugh. The U is silent. Another digraph. LF says F, like in calf. G says G, and with A, O, or U, it's hard, so it says game and gut. When it's with I, E, U, it's soft, so it says J, like in gem or gem. Digraph for G. GG, usually at the end of a word, like says J, like an egg. It says G, like an egg. Another one. GH, the H is silent. It still says G, like in ghost. Another one. GU, the U is silent. Still says G, like in guest. H says digraph for H has two sounds. It's WH. When you hear the H, it's who. And the W is W. So like what. I says I. J says J. Here we have a G with a silent E, so it says J, like in change. Makes the A say its name, change. Here we have a G with a magic E, which makes the A say its name. The magic E makes the A say its name, like in age. Here we have a trigraph. DGE says J, like in fudge. Here we have a K, which is usually at the beginning, and when K is with I, E, or Y, it says K. L says L. Here we have a digraph of a double L, usually at the end of the word. It still says L, like in shell and hill. Here we have M. M says mm. A digraph for M is MB. The B is silent, so it still says M, like in climb. Another digraph is MN. It still says M. The N is silent, like in autumn. N says N. A digraph for N is KN. The K is silent, so it says N, and it's night. Another one for N, the GN. The G is silent, so it says N, like in gnat. Another one is PN. It says N. P is silent, like in pneumonia. O says ah. P says p. Q is usually at the end of a word and is most common in countries like Iraq, and names like Mark says the K sound. Q says k. R says or r. RH, the H is silent, so it says r, like in rhyme. WR, the W is silent, so it says r, like in wrong. S has two sounds. It can say S, like in Sam, or it can say Z, like in is, has, or pins. S also has a double S at the end of the word usually, and it says like in mess. Here we have CE, usually at the end of the word. There's a magic E, so it makes our letter say its name. It says S, like in face. Here we have CE, which says S, and it's our silent E. So it says change. Here we have SC, which says S, like in science. And my little note says C has to be by vowels E, I, or Y to make sound. Here we have PS, which says S, like in psychology. T says T. U says Y. U says B says V. W says W. X says Z. Y says Y. Y also can say, at the end of the word, it can say I, like, or it can say my, a long I sound, or it can have a long E sound and say baby. Z says Z. QU says qua. That's all my 54, and then here's my book, my index. There's my B, my D, my F, my G, my H, my J. It's a long one. My K, the end of my K, and then my L, my M, my N, my P, my R, X, my T, my V, W, X, Y, Z. That's it. Thank you.